Welcome to yet another edition of Trends with LJE, where we bring you the latest and developing stories across Nigeria and Africa. I am John Nkamia. Now, do well to be part of our growing online community by hitting that follow, like, and share button right now on all platforms at LJE Nigeria. Joining me to dissect today's trending stories are Miriam Gamale and, of course, Esther Ekweri. Ladies, thank you for being on this edition of Trends with LJE.
Thank you for having us.
Right, let's quickly run through our headlines for this edition. Trump's military threats, NSA security chiefs to address nation. Trump does not rule out any kind of Nigerian military operation. Wirh declared wanted. Police deploy helicopters, drones, and tactical teams ahead of Anambra governorship election. Anambra poll, a test of new INEC chair's credibility. Atiku. And now we go straight to our first story, where the Office of the National Security Advisor, NSA, and top security chiefs scheduled a brief for the media yesterday, Monday afternoon, following U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to deploy American troops to Nigeria over alleged terrorist attacks on Christians. Director General of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Malam Lanre Issa Onlu, disclosed the plan during the monthly National Joint Security press briefing in Abuja. He said the media engagement would address recent allegations of genocide and provide Nigerians and the international community with the federal government's official position. He said the media engagement would address recent allegations of genocide and provide Nigerians and the international community with the federal government's official position. And still on latest developments, where U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday repeated his threat of a military operation in Nigeria over the killings of Christians after the Nigerian presidency suggested a meeting to resolve the issue. In an explosive post on his True social platform on Saturday, Trump said he asked the Pentagon to map out a possible plan of attack in Nigeria. One day after warning that Christians were facing an existential threat in Africa's most populous country. Nigeria, which is also evenly divided between Muslim majority north and a largely Christian south, is embroiled in numerous conflicts that experts say have killed both Christians and Muslims without distinction. In his post, Trump said that if Nigeria does not stem the killing, the United States will attack, and it will be fast, vicious, and swift, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. End of quote. Now let's watch President Donald Trump repeat his threat of a military operation in Nigeria over the Christians when asked by an AFP reporter on board Air Force One.
The report or notion
Nigeria, just wanted to ask you, do you envisage US boots on the ground?
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Now, staying with recent development, Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's spokesman Daniel Bawal told AFP on Sunday that Nigeria is the U.S. partner in the global fight against terrorism. When leaders meet, there would be better outcomes. Earlier, Bawal had suggested in a post on X that the two leaders could meet soon. Now, Bawal, who was speaking from Washington, declined to disclose details of any potential meeting. So let's watch this video as Daniel Bawal speaks on President Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern.
The report or notion that there is a Christian persecution or genocide in Nigeria is false. false both from the premise and the conclusion. It is not supported by data. All the report we have so far seen, from assessment from USIP, assessment from Amnesty International, from European Union, have all attested to the fact that there were serious cases of killing, but that from 2022, 23 down to 2025, there have been marked improvement. In fact, there is a decline in the rate of killings. So it is intriguing and surprising for us how an old report is being used for this type of thing. But we are all about solution, and because we know America is a partner and they have been very helpful, we see it that it is probably a clarion call for us to have a sit down and then discuss how we can forge a common front in this fight against insurgency.
We'll need to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be discussing the Lagos planned protest that has seen Omoyele Sowore declared wanted by the Lagos State Police Command. And of course, staying with security issues and the elections in Anambra State, the police is to deploy helicopters, drones, and tactical teams ahead of the Anambra governorship election. And of course, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's latest comment on new INEC chair. Stay with us and keep sharing the stream.
Camera rolling. Light set. Sound check. And action.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's program.
A
program where we get to talk about the daily affairs and technical issues with intent to educate.
This is the perfect space to create professional quality videos, recording news, podcasts, and all media content. With top-of-the-line cameras, studio lighting, soundproof spaces, we provide everything you need for a seamless shoot. Our fully equipped studio ensures high-quality production every time. Enjoy a comfortable, air-conditioned environment with professional-grade gear and expert support. Contact us now or visit our Abuja location to reserve your spot.
Thanks for staying with us, and if you just joined us, this is Trends with LJE. Moving on, the Lagos State Police Command has declared activist and publisher of Sahara reporters Omoyele Sowore wanted for allegedly planning to incite public disorder and obstruct major roads across the state. Commissioner of Police Olorundare Jimoh made the announcement on Monday while addressing journalists at Iyanoworo section of the Third Mainland Bridge, warning that the command would not tolerate any attempt to disrupt public peace. Now, according to Jimoh, intelligence reports suggest that Sowore and his associates had mapped out strategic locations, including the Third Mainland Bridge, Lekki Tollgate, and Freedom Park for simultaneous demonstrations. The police chief described the planned demonstrations as criminal, warning that such actions could trigger massive traffic gridlock and endanger lives. The police boss assured residents that there was no cause for alarm, adding that all security agencies were fully mobilized to protect lives and property. Let me start with you, Mariam. If you remember, on one edition of Trends, we had talked about the planned demolition of properties along Oworoshoki axis of the Third Mainland Bridge, and the fact that residents at that time had planned a protest, and the police was quick to come out to quell the proposed protest. Little did we know at the time that activist Omoyele Sowore would jump on that train. So how do you react to the fact that now he's been declared a wanted man by the Lagos State Police Command?
Okay, the thing is, it's sad that instead of the government trying to listen to the cries of displaced citizens, they are just hell-bent on silencing the voices of people who are trying to lend a voice to the cries of these people. It just shows how the government sees us, the citizen. Because you see, oppressed citizens protest and you call them miscreants. But when the powerful break the law, you call that government policy. I don't understand it. People are crying. Instead of you trying to listen to their voices, trying to listen to their cries, trying to look for a solution to the problem, you're bent on declaring Sowore wanted. What has Sowore done? Is he not a citizen? Doesn't he have the right to go for a protest? Like many a times, I don't even understand what our leaders take us for.
Esther, now we've had this conversation before and established the fact that the police is to protect and serve. But for some reason, the police seems to find reasons to believe that once citizens decide to come together and protest any misgivings, as in the case of the people of Oworoshoki, whose properties and buildings are to be demolished. The demolition of buildings in Lagos it's a different kettle of fish. It's a conversation that hopefully we will get into at some point. But the fact that the Constitution gives rights to freedom of expression, freedom of association, and yet the police at every point in time sees citizens who choose to gather under the umbrella of a protest as threats. How do we remedy this?
It's not a news that Nigerian police, Nigerian government entirely have violated our freedom of speech. The right that citizens have to come out and protest is our right. If we see any misdoing and anything that we are not comfortable with, we have the right to come together and protest. It happens all over the world. But why is it that it's only in Nigeria that when there's a protest, you see the police, they start coming out in their numbers, bringing tear gas, doing all sorts of things, trying to stop it. They are trying to stop our freedom. And that's what they are trying to do to Sowore, as I can see. They are trying to and there's not even enough evidence. They don't have enough evidence against him, but they just want to find a way to stop us from speaking the truth.
Okay, ladies, before I let you, we jump to the next story. Is it because, and I'm asking this question from a personal standpoint or personal experience, because I remember on an occasion here in the FCT where vehicles were stopped because we were told that the president wanted to pass and we had to wait for almost 45 minutes to an hour. And I said something to the inspector who stopped the traffic where I was. And he gave me a very funny response. He said, "We are federal." Because I was telling him, look, your concern should be about we, the citizens, not that person who's going to drive in a 21-car convoy. We voted him into office and we pay taxes that pay your salaries, arm you, and train you. And the response he gave me was, "We are federal." So I want to ask you, Miriam and Esther, is it because the police are made to believe that they are an arm of government and not necessarily understand their role, that they are first to protect and serve?
I don't see the reason why you see the police doesn't understand their role to save. Before they got their uniform or came out to save, I am sure that they've undergone series of training, series of orientation to tell them this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do. You're a uniformed person, you're in the government, the life of the citizens matter, should come first. I don't understand why. Okay, yeah, he's a number one citizen. Now you're trying to block the road because he's passing with a long convoy. Not even as if it is one or two vehicles. You see a long stretch of cars following one person, and because of that you're blocking the road that he's not going to pass. Okay, now this person is passing. What if another citizen is in danger? If another citizen
there's an emergency.
Or there's an emergency, how do you curtail that? Or you will leave the citizen there to die because of now wait until the president finishes passing before you attend to the person. It doesn't make sense.
In extension to what she just said, I think the Nigerian police don't even know what exactly their duty is, because they are supposed to be for the people as much as they are also for the government. So, but you see them attacking the people and siding just the government, and it shows that we don't even have good security system and police in Nigeria. We don't.
Well, I in the world, if I might give interpretation to what Esther just said, it means they are how do they say it? He that plays the piper dictates the tune. So for the Nigerian police, the government pays their salaries, so their allegiance lies with people in power. Moving on to the next story. The Nigerian police force has intensified security operations across Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, ahead of the November 8th governorship election, deploying helicopters, drones, and tactical teams to ensure a peaceful and credible poll. The State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, announced this in a statement in Awka, the Anambra State capital. He said the deployment was part of the force's strategic operational plan to reinforce local formations and additional manpower and advanced technical support. Now, according to Ikenga, the tactical teams were dispatched from the force headquarters Abuja following approval from the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. Okay, so Esther, November 8th, elections in Anambra. Virtually what this story is telling us is that the police say they are ready. The first time we saw helicopters was during the protest here in Abuja on October 20th. And now the police is showing us that they have helicopters and drones. Is this a good omen in terms of policing elections, providing extra eyes to securing elections and polls, starting with what we hope to see on November 8th in Anambra?
It's just an election. It's an election. An election is supposed to be free and fair. Yeah, they are trying to put fear in people that are coming to just cast their vote and move. What is the point of helicopters, drones? Like, we need these things for other things, not for election, not for voting, rather. Just vote. They are bringing helicopters, they are bringing drones, no. I don't think.
Maria, what are your thoughts? I mean, is the police just flexing muscle? I mean, Esther said this might instill more fear rather than create confidence in the electoral process built for November 8 in Anambra.
The thing is, I actually concur with what Esther just said. This is an election, not a war. I don't know why you're trying to make it look as if we are going to fight a war, whereas this is just an election. I know you're trying to safeguard the place. I know some people will want to misbehave, but helicopters, drone, it's just like bringing a gun to a knife fight. It is not necessary. We've been battling insecurity in Nigeria. Why haven't they sent helicopters, drones to places to fish out these people who are terrorizing us? Rather, you're deploying forest guards. What can they do when you have drones, you have helicopters that will go up and see things that are happening, but then now you're bringing that for election? Like, we have more problems, severe problems in Nigeria that needs to be tackled, and not fighting or trying to paint an election as if it's war.
Well, still talking about the November 8th Anambra gubernatorial election. Ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said next weekend's Anambra State gubernatorial election will be a defining test of the credibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission under its chairman, Professor Josh Amopitan. Atiku, in a post on X on Sunday, argued that the November 8 poll was not just another off-circle election, but a chance for voters to chart a new direction for the state. He urged residents to rally behind the African Democratic Congress candidate Nwosu Chima John and his running mate Nwobi Godfrey Ndubisi. Atiku added that the election would also show whether the electoral umpire had truly turned a new page. He urged registered voters to mobilize heavily for the ADC candidate, saying Anambra had a history of significant political relevance in Nigeria. Meanwhile, reports revealed that the Independent National Electoral Commission recently declared Anambra fully prepared for the poll following a week-long readiness tour by senior officials from the commission in Abuja. The delegation, led by the National Commissioner for Electoral Planning and Monitoring, Rhoda Gumus, assessed logistics, facilities, and security arrangements across the state. Other members on the inspection team included the National Commissioners Sam Olumekun, Kenneth Ikoagu, and Baba Bila. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Trends with LJE. My sincere thanks to Miriam Gamalia and, of course, Esther Ekwerem for their brilliant contributions, as always, to the show. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Now, don't forget to follow, like, and share at LJE Nigeria on all social media platforms to join the conversation and, of course, get updates on our next show. I am John Nkamiang. Bye for now.